We have both sets of opponents on. I think I would. I mean, why don't we do this? Why don't we bring in
Make it like a
Ross
Zoom
first?
meeting. Bring everybody in.
Well, why don't we bring in Ross? We'll ask him some questions. Then we'll bring Battles on and have them both on at the same time. Then we'll let Ross go, and then we'll have a little private time with Battles. Then we'll do the same thing with Bone and DSAB. I think that Ross and Battles have already stared down. They've already seen each other. They're very cordial to one another. So I don't think we're going to have much trash talk. I think there's a lot of respect there. But the big man himself, here he is.
There he is.
I guess we got to unmute him, though. Let's see. Unmute. Oh, nope. Yeah, we can go that way. Boom. I think I heard it click.
Oh, wait.
Hey.
How's that?
Oh, that is beautiful. How you doing, my man?
Doing pretty good. What y'all been up to lately?
Nah, not too much, man. Just getting ready for the big fights. Last week I was a little sick, getting over some sickness. Those little rascally kids bring it home from the daycares and the schools. So got over that, but I'm back and I'm excited to be talking to you guys. Oh, there we are.
Likewise, man. Oh, speak of the devil, there he goes. But yeah, I was listening. Obviously, you've been a very busy man, and I have been as well. So yeah, looking forward to my first title fight for you guys, and it's your first title ever. So yeah, good times. Let's have it.
And I am so thrilled to be calling this fight. You fought in so many tremendous. Just coming off of fighting in the PFL, you fought for Bellator all the way up in NEF. You're local to Maine, and first Cage Titans appearance here, and you're a devastating, true heavyweight finisher. Who I think you've only gone to the distance once in your career, if I'm not mistaken.
Two times. Two
Couple
times actually. Yeah, one. The first one was a win against Rudy Shafroth. That was my first time out in Bellator. 3-day notice while I was still working at Home Depot, so gave it what I had. And then the other one was a decision loss to Domingos Barros, who is actually a teammate of Brendan. Like Jorgen's down there too, so you got a whole row of killers who all know me well enough to pick me apart and make this an exciting fight.
So I got to ask, the nickname, all that stuff. I've seen that you've done some trivia. What brought you into the sport of MMA?
I was 27 years old, and I was kind of at a crossroads where I really wanted to teach martial arts, but don't get me wrong, I love the traditional background that I have, but you need to be able to really dissect what is competition effective, what's self-defense effective, what's the art, and what's carrying on the lesson plan. And I was lucky enough to run into Nick Gulliver at a fusion match, which is kind of like baby MMA with pads at karate tournaments. And he, after we competed against each other a few times, we ended up at a grappling match, and he brought me into first class MMA to check out how the sparring was there. And it all just kind of lined up with this idea I didn't quite have in my head, where I'm now on this path to enjoy the sport and figure out how and what I want to teach, so that when I get a little more old and grouchy, I can make sure that what I have to offer is effective and I can break it down the way that I need to. I want to know that whatever I'm showing people and saying, here, this is a good idea to train, is actually a good idea to train. And there's the wonderful thing in cage fighting where you get to go and fight somebody, and instead of racking up bail money and fines, you get a paycheck instead. So it all just kind of married together to exactly what I needed in my life. And yeah, so here we are all these years later, and I'm loving it.
You seem like such a well-mannered and friendly person to just so casually say it's better to go collect a paycheck than money, just beating people up. It's quite a contrast there.
Well, when you put it like that.
And it's a testament to the hidden savagery that is behind Rasquatch as you're rocking tie-dye shirt with Dan Severn in the background. So it's it's
Oh, don't forget this tie-dye shirt. Here to represent Shory Strong, and I'm going to throw out a quick little hashtag fuck cancer. Sorry if you got a PG rating.
We don't have no.
Yeah,
We don't have
give a
PJ.
fuck.
Nope.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm also I was hoping to provide Mike Shorey, a friend of mine, with a good show at PFL on his way out, but unfortunately, that didn't work out in my favor. He's proud I didn't tab, but it wasn't the win we were looking for. So now I'll be going out to push this and push the fight like Mike ideology. You only get one shot, so may as well go out and either on the shield or carrying it out with you. I really wish that it was an all finish record because it's a fight. Either put me out or I'm going to put you out. That's the way I see it. That's the way that fighting is, and that's really what the whole journey's been about is enjoying the thing, and that's what Mike and I really got to do. Not exactly the way we wanted to, but it's we did. So I'll be carrying the Shory name into the cage with me and walking out same way I went in.
So speaking, you want to finish. That is kind of like what your whole career is. Like I've watched you from a little distance, up at NEF, and it's just like you are just a headhunter, man. You are coming with the power, and the tenacity, and just you hit people and they go to sleep. Like there's
Smart
no
guy
mistake.
you're ever gonna meet.
What was that?
Smartest dumb guy you're ever gonna meet. I could spell philosophy and my entire name. So listen to this real quick. Ras Makaru Tau von Mat Amu Hylton. I had the etymology and the spelling of my name by the time I was 6. But I'm still a headhunter who doesn't stay out of range, which is what gets me into trouble. So it's there's just as much intelligence as there is stupidity in my style and strategy. So, but there's the animal and there's the philosopher, and we both go in there, and some blending of the two is what's going to happen while we're doing it.
So speaking of the range,
So
Andy
poetic.
mentioned you are of true heavyweight, 6'6". So you don't use the range is kind of what I'm picking up. But you just want to go in there and just like close the distance, just throw bombs.
Yes, against better advice. I have been drilled and drilled and drilled, and I'm trying to really, where we're getting into my latter years, I'm trying to make sure that I can cement proper range finding and proper distance management on my way through here, so that I can again be a good teacher once I'm done with this. Got to be a little more cool, calm, and collected, and keep everything finely honed on the way through.
So speaking of teaching, your martial arts journey started at what age, and what traditional martial art is your background in,
Uh, oof.
or a whole
So,
blends?
I mean, at this point, it's been a wide variety. Like, my dad started teaching me boxing when I was like 5 or 6, but that only lasted a few years because, well, he was born in 1935 and I was born in 1988. So he wasn't really as strapping and physically available as he may have wanted to be. So, that was kind of an on and off thing growing up. And then I got 2 years of judo. Me and my little brother Leo trained judo for 2 years at this little club in Augusta, right around the Rotary Circuit. I wish I could remember my instructor's name because he kind of gave me my first impression of what Eastern martial arts was like through judo. I got a bunch of crazy um, mishmash stuff while I was a teenager down in Florida. And I didn't really get formal with it again until I had my 2 little girls. That was when I got introduced to Kempo. I belted in that. After I left the two schools I was affiliated there, I trained Taekwondo, ITF, through that. I met through the first school. I met Dragonfire Martial Arts Andy Campbell. He's a Shotokan instructor, and I just got my second degree from them a couple years back. So ironically enough, it's all kind of along the same timeline. If you know martial arts history, I just followed the evolution of Kempo to what was it, Kempo, and then Shotokan, and then Taekwondo. I got them mixed up a little bit, but I got the whole timeline now. And being able to pick that apart and apply it to the modern sport was something that really fascinated me. It was like, how do we take these old pieces and put them in? Lyoto Machida did it. Thompson did it. There are others who have had success, and through that traditional lens and then geographic switches, we got Cheishindo through John Panett, one of Master Shay's students here in Portland. And he's along that same timeline as well. That lineage of martial arts that came out of the Korea, Okinawa, Japan fusion that happened down in that area. And just having yet another perspective of that skill set has really helped things click over the last year or so. And John Panett's no nonsense, but he likes to have fun too. So, having that kind of old school mindset for your coach is really helpful. So I've just, there's a lot of good people that help me. And throughout this whole process, I went down and I learned bare knuckle stuff from Bobo O'Bannon and his coach over in Wales, Mr. Jason. Rafael Garcia at ATT Tampa at World Class Martial Arts is another Taekwondo guy who's also got Thai striking and Jiu-Jitsu, and has really helped me to blend things from his perspective, introduced me to Kimbo Slice's cousin, Dr. Roddy Ferguson, who's another judo guy, coming full circle there and breaking down cage strategy. There's just martial arts gets you in touch with so many fun people who really kind of get this area of life and want to help. And, if anything, I've already won every fight, regardless of what my record looks like, because of all the people who I get to train with and work with and under. And, it's a good time. Yeah, I mean, even at the end of this, I hope Brendan and I can go and train together and put some work in so we can, be the Northeast taking over the rest of the country. But it's just, wherever we go, we're having fun and we're learning, and yeah, I guess to be societally acceptable instead of the other cage worthy, which we're also working on trying to deal with up here in Maine.
I love it.
Well,
I
So
don't
yeah,
think.
all that.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm just trying to say you might be among like the most philosophical fighters I think I've ever chatted with. The depth of how you approach this game, and regardless of
Look, there's a
results,
lot of.
all of your
I put a lot of work into it, but
homages
there's
to
a
your
lot of us.
lineage.
yeah. Well, so before we let you go, give us. I was going to say, give us your quick pitch to the Cage Titans fans, but you're very philosophical, and give us your pitch, your quick pitch. I'm trying to say on what fans can expect from Rasquatch, because this is your first time traveling down to Cage Titans. I will say, when we had you there for the stare down in January, just you in the crowd, people were like, "Dude, who the hell's that guy?"
Yeah,
over there?
I was in the zone. I think I was like washing my hands outside of the pisser, like right next to you. I was like, "Oh, that's a big fella next to me." And then later you were squaring off, and I was like, "Oh shit, that was Ross. He's here!" Like I was like,
So besides your unique look, what can they expect when that cage door closes as Cage Titans?
Uh, they can expect that we're both going to go right at it. I mean, this is a classic wrestler versus striker matchup, and we've been down different roads, but we're both in here fighting for our family and trying to represent who we are and our community. So I expect the same guy who's out there headhunting, but with more concise use of the skill set that has been very graciously gifted to me repeatedly over the years.
All right. Well, there you have it. Cage Side. You do have some fans. I have Rob Pico said he's a Battles fan, but he's a fan of you as well. So you're definitely winning over some of the
Hey,
Cage
be a
Side people.
Battles fan.
Yeah. Cam Arnold said, has Raz told anybody that he's been beating the brakes off you at lunchtime?
Hey, you weren't supposed to be letting people know about that, man. That ain't fair. That ain't fair. That's private.
It's
Listen to him.
All right.
I'm stoked, man. He's the kind of guy that take a fight on 3 days' notice out of working on Home Depot, and here you are with a whole card in between preparation for a title fight. I can't wait to
Hell
see
yeah.
what you bring to the table.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in and coming on, Ross. And
Glad to
we
be.
will
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
hopefully what we'll do is, yeah,
I fight like
sure.
fuck.
There you go. Say that one more time before we let you go, because I was talking, so it cut you off.
Nope. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hashtag sorry strong. Hashtag I fight like Mike. Hashtag fuck cancer. We're gonna beat the brakes off everybody.
All right, Ross, thank
Love
you
it.
so much. I cannot wait to. And maybe towards the end of your camp, we'll bring these guys back on and see how camp is. We'll bring them together. I think he's a gentleman.
You want to bring Battles in now? Or?